What's up everybody? Welcome back to the Motopilot Garage. I recently added a new bike to my collection, buying a used bike, which I haven't done in many years. And come to find out, I made a bunch of mistakes. The bike has several issues with it that I should have caught when I test rode it. So I wanted to share with you today a list of things you should check next time you're gonna buy a used bike. So here's the new machine. I have wanted the Yamaha Big Bang engine in my life for many years. This is actually the FZ-10, which is essentially the Yamaha R1 motor, chassis in a more upright position, more like a naked bike. They do detune the engine a little bit to change the power. It's got more torque on the bottom, still has that amazing sound, still an amazing bike. Looks quite a bit different, of course. Oops, just unplugged my light. Doug, come here. Yeah, so I'm very stoked to have this bike. It's mostly going to be my commuter bike, and I'm going to rack up a ton of miles on it, so I got to make sure everything is solid. So let me tell you real quick all the stuff that I found out that's wrong with the bike the first time I rode it. Now, I didn't even realize the bike had a quick shifter. I didn't think it came on this year model, and then I got home and I'm like, hey, check that out. And then I got all excited, I rode the bike. Turns out the quick shifter doesn't even work, so keep an eye on that. I also noticed the check engine light was on. Now, how I didn't see that during the test ride, I don't know. That's normally something that I think I would catch. But here's the thing, people. I think when you're excited about getting a new bike, you're not thinking squarely and thinking of all these different things that you need to check. You're just like, oh man, it looks good, it sounds good, you ride it, it's got great power, you know, you're just thrilled with all these things, and you're not thinking of all these little details you need to think about. So yeah, engine light, quick shifter not working. Now apparently this bike has a cruise control, which I didn't even know, and I'm like, cool man. Didn't test it during the test ride the bike to work the first day. Cruise control will not kick on. I've already researched reasons why, probably gonna figure it out, but pain in the butt, right? Now another thing I learned riding the bike to work is I get to work, which is about 37 miles, and I look at the bike, and this right here has all these little oil spots on it, on the muffler. I'm like, that's interesting. So I start investigating, and I come up here. This is the oil pump case right here. And this bolt right here was snapped off in the motor. Thankfully, I was able to get it out without too much trouble. And with that bolt missing, there was oil seeping out and coming out the bottom and just spraying back. There was oil on my boots. It wasn't a ton of oil, wasn't anything to worry about, but it was still, obviously, it's coming from somewhere. So that's something that if I would have looked this bike over closely and checked all these bolts, you know, I would have noticed, oh no, a snapped off bolt, which this could have been a complete nightmare. So check all the nuts and bolts. It's also a good idea to come in here, look at your brake pads, look at your brake lines, make sure they're not seeping. I mean, all these things can really add up in cost if you have to fix it later. So check your brake pads in the front, check your brake pads in the back. Get down low and check out the sprocket, check out the sprocket teeth for wear. You can see these, they don't have, if it's worn, this right here will be more like an oblong shape rather than a nice smooth radius. So check that out, that could get costly. Another thing about this bike is the ABS on and off. It works on the dash, but when I turn it off and I hit the brakes, the ABS still kicks on. So now I have an ABS problem with the bike. Don't really know what I'm gonna do to fix it, but I'm thinking eventually I'll figure it out. Check the fork seals and make sure they're not leaking down here in this area here. A lot of people on these kind of bikes, they like to get the front end light and pop a lot of wheelies with all that power. You blow the fork seals out, that's gonna be a pain in the butt to fix. Getting the whole front end pulled off, new seals put on. If you do it yourself, you can do it relatively cheap for the parts, but if you gotta pay someone to do it, money's gonna add up real quick. Make sure the clutch doesn't slip. Ride the bike hard. Put the engine under a pretty heavy load. Make sure that clutch isn't slipping, because if it is, you know, that's going to be another costly fix. Another issue this bike has is the kickstand. There's like a relay, so if your kickstand is down and you accidentally tap the bike into gear, it kills the engine. Well, the other day I'm at a gas station and kickstand's down. I accidentally knocked this into gear and the bike jumped and stalled. I'm like, oh geez. So now we have another problem. There's a little relay behind here that activates that. So gonna have to figure that out. Now I am getting the ECU, which is the computer on this bike, flashed, and that's hopefully gonna take care of the check engine light, which another thing that may cause that check engine light is when you put an exhaust system on and you remove the catalytic converter with this mid pipe, that can kick on your engine light, I'm being told. I'm gonna talk to the ECU guys a little bit more. They can tell me what all they can fix with the ECU. But another thing you want to do, which I did do, which I'm happy about, is turn on the running lights, turn on the brights, make sure the front lights work, the back lights work, turn on the left blinker, turn on the right blinker, make sure they all blink. If you got hazards, turn the hazard lights on, make sure those all blink. Electrical issues on these bikes can be a total drag. Generally, the bike looks good, the plastics are in good shape, the seat is, you know, it's tearing right there and it just looks tired. I'm gonna change that out. So aesthetically, the bike's in, I give it about a 7 or an 8. But mechanically, I feel like I should have done way better, and I'm not happy with myself. Not 100% happy on the purchase, but I'll get all these bugs worked out. Anyways, guys, I am stoked on my new bike. I'm gonna be making some videos on some cool upgrades I'm gonna do to it. I'm not gonna go crazy with this build and just, you know, go through the whole thing, but I got a few items that I feel the bike really needs. Anyways, if you're looking at buying a used bike, write down a checklist, go through it. Everything I told you here, check that out. There may be some things in addition to that in the comments. You guys want to add that to help people out. And if you are buying a new bike, stoked for you. I am still excited about this bike. I just wish I'd done a better job going through it when I bought it. Anyways, guys, Motopilot out. See you in the next video.